about when life hurts, what's next? Because I'm sure every single one of us, if we were to have time to talk about every journey that we've all been through, we all have a story, right? Yeah. In one way or the other. Yeah? We all have a story. So how do we then bounce back when life happens? Because whether we like it or not, you're going to have to. We have to stay in this race. I don't know about you, but after the things that I've been through, I need to go home and hear him say, welcome and well done, good and faithful servant. I'm not going to go through hell on earth and then miss it on the other side. It's like, no. Let's not get it twisted. I am going to make it, regardless. I might get in there, dragons, I might be just about getting through but I am getting through those pearly gates. I am getting through. And sometimes, these are some of the mindsets that we might, forget the might, you're going to need to have. Because at the end of the day, all the things that we're going through, they're just little distractions along the way. Bottom line is, and I love what Paul said, Philippians 3:13, I am focused on the goal. Even the Bible talks about it in Hebrews, I was sharing earlier on today, Hebrews 12:11. It said, let's not get entangled with all these things that heavily besets us, one of the versions talks about, and the things that distract us, but keep our eyes focused, just like Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. So we have to find a way of keeping our eyes on the goal, regardless of what we're facing. Now, the reality is what we're facing is painful. I mean, I don't know about you, you shared about an engagement that didn't go so well. I let this lady, gorgeous lady in red, was alluding to the waiting for Mr. Right to come along. I'm sure if we come down this side of the room, everybody's got one story or the other of things that they've all gone through. Don't worry, sister girl, I feel you. 25 years and still waiting. But you know what? God is faithful. He's faithful. I love something I love about God, and I love the way you presented God about his love, because until you get to grips with that bit, you know what, everything else ain't going to make sense. Despite the waiting, despite the being rejected and all those kind of things, he never leaves us comfortless. I don't look think about it really, because I think we all get spiritual amnesia when it's convenient for us. We look at the children of Israel. Remember when they were asking, they're in the wilderness, we left Egypt, there's no cucumbers, there's no blah, 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 blah. Can you imagine? You're in bondage, you want cucumbers. Hello. Anyway, but we talk about that, and we talk about, we looked at them when they were complaining there's no meat and whatever, and then God gave them quail and everything. And sometimes we look at them and say, naughty, children of Israel, you should do better. You've seen God move, how much more do you want? But let's be real, we're doing the same thing. Just yesterday, we were talking in our group, that yesterday he gave us a blessing. All of a sudden, by today, we've forgotten all that happened, and then all of a sudden, God is a bad God because you don't have what you want. And I remember Father telling me a while ago that, you know what, don't judge me based on what you have or you don't have or what you think I owe you. Judge me on me for who I am. Regardless. And so the question had to come from me personally is if I never get the thing that I'm trusting him for, can I still serve him to the very end and do it well? And that's the question you're going to need to ask yourself. Because yes, we want the husband, we want the children, we want the job, all the things that we desire. And to be honest, none of them are bad things in themselves. But sometimes they become an idol between us and our God. You don't go into your bedroom and say, I worship you, whatever. But it becomes an idol because that thing has taken preeminence over God himself. And so sometimes we're going to have to take a back step and say, you know what, Lord, and which is something I do quite often. Lord, you know what? I lay it on the altar. And I'm going to walk away from it right now. And I'm just going to have to say, hands up. And I think somebody alluded to the fact earlier on about honesty. Like, he sees our hearts anyway. And I made a decision when I turned a milestone age, and I said, you know what, Lord, regardless of what happens, or this is all I'm asked, this is my prayer. Give me enough strength and grace to deal with the weeping in the night and wake up in the morning and still serve you. Okay, so Lord, don't get it wrong. I know, I call it my Gladys moment. I'm going to have a bit of a tizzy. There's some days through either burnout, tiredness, prolonged waiting, or name it, disappointment. There's some days I'm going to wake up and I'm feeling, you know what, I don't feel like lifting up holy hands. Let's be real, come on. We get to church and thank God for worship leaders that just usher us into God's presence. But there's some days it's like, for Pete's sake, how much longer? I'm being real. Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay, I'm telling you. Sometimes you're thinking, God, when? If not now, when? I don't need a husband in heaven. Nor do I need kids. I don't need healing in heaven. I don't need my miracle, my test. I don't need those things. I need them now. And I find that personally, and I'm sure it's the same with you, discouragement, which is, the beginning of that journey before, we get to the condition of the depression, is when our expectations of God, life, love, others, and all the other things we want to put in there, when they're not met, all of a sudden, that's sinking feeling like, oh no, where is it happening? Why is it not happening in our lives? But I just want to encourage you that, the Bible talks about in Habakkuk, I think it's Habakkuk 3, it says, even though the vines, I'm paraphrasing now, 3:18 or thereabouts, that even though the vines don't bear fruit and this doesn't happen, but yet I will still praise him. Would that be our testimony? Can you say that honestly, hand on heart? That even though, regardless of what's going on in my life, I will carry on this journey anyway. Now that's a tough one.